So I'm scrolling around on the internet as I do, and I come across this article on Rolling Stone. The title is Trump Kept Asking If China Was Shooting Us with a Hurricane Gun. Love the picture, by the by. Awesome picture right here. That title kind of stuck out to me, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but let's just read like the first few sentences of this, and then I'll explain to you why it's so relevant. This was written by Aswin Subasang and Adam Ronsley. I know I got those names wrong. I apologize. May 10th, 2022 is when this article was written. Near the beginning of Donald Trump's time in office, the then president had a pressing question for his national security aides and administration officials. Does China have the secret technology, a weapon even, to create large man-made hurricanes and then launch them at the United States? And if so, would this constitute an act of war by a foreign power? And could the U.S. retaliate militarily? Then President Trump repeatedly asked about this, according to two former senior administration officials and a third person briefed on the matter. So why did this catch my attention? Because it's a QAnon belief. It is a QAnon belief. I don't know this for a fact because I haven't read this entire article yet, but I don't remember any mentions of QAnon in this. So I just wanted to take a quick glance back at a couple of examples of QAnon members talking about this exact thing. This is Kirsten Weldon. Sadly, she passed away from COVID after making fun of people for getting vaccinated. She passed away from COVID last year, I believe. So this is Kirsten Weldon, one of the top QAnon interpreters, early April 2021. Give this one a listen.
So they had that freeze out. And
talking about the Texas freeze where, you know, everything was like freezing cold or whatever in Texas a while back. I don't remember. A couple of years ago, I think.
And they did it with the weather warfare. That would be, you know, the bunker fuel in the ocean and the pulling down the polar vortex, right? With the chemtrails.
And this one is, God, she said chemtrails right before I paused it. This one is Francine Fosdick. She's also a high-profile QAnon interpreter. She's also held a conference recently called Patriots Arise, where she invited a U.S. senator, not state senator, a U.S. senator from Pennsylvania, Doug Mastriano. He spoke at Francine's conference, and she's a QAnon interpreter. But I digress. Let's keep listening.
Chemtrails. So they pulled it down, and they hit all of Texas. As you know, it had a huge freeze.
So she says there's a weather gun that China is using. They're aiming at the U.S. and they're attacking the U.S. with a weather gun. And the evidence she has that there's a weather gun is that Texas dealt with a big freeze. Can you say non sequitur?
Yeah, that's what happened. And they usually do it from the Arecibo Observatory when they do their hurricanes and stuff to pull the hurricane stuff through that Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. But this time, the Arecibo Observatory was down. So they did it through the Ecuadorian HARP facility. It was traced to there. If you watch my videos, you would see the video. It traced all the way back to the Ecuadorian HARP facility. And that was...
Who told you this, Kirsten? Who told you that all of this was true? Who traced this? Where are you getting this information? Have you verified it? I have so many questions. This is absolutely bizarre stuff, dude.
Ecuadorian HARP facility, and that was China testing out their new weapons, weather weapons. And of course, Biden was paid billions of dollars before and got more money for letting them do that to the United States.
Why would they even ask for permission? I thought China was like the ultimate evil in your mind or whatever. So incredibly strange, man. It gets stranger. It seems to me that Donald Trump, at the time when he was asking these questions about a hurricane gun or whatever, seems to me that he probably discovered QAnon around this time. In fact, it's probably a good indicator of when he first discovered QAnon. I'm guessing if we talked to whoever the sources were for this, which I believe they've remained anonymous, I'm guessing if we asked them when this happened specifically, we could use that as an indicator for when Donald Trump first discovered QAnon and started looking into it heavily. Because QAnon's been claiming this stuff since forever, since it's existed. 2017, 2018, 2019. I mean, they've been making these types of claims forever. FYI, that's not the only instance of QAnoners making claims like that. This is Lauren Witzke. She was on True News with Rick Wiles for a while. Then she started her own show, I believe. She was also running for Congress. I'm not sure if she won or if she's still running or what. But anyway, she's pretty high profile. This is from mid-December 2021. Listen to what she had to say in this one.
I saw the pictures in the aftermath of the tornado, and it was absolutely devastating.
Talking about a tornado that I believe ripped through Kentucky a little while back. I think the same tornado knocked down Greg Locke's big circus tent church, which, you know, back in the day, they used to take that as a sign that maybe you were doing something that wasn't very pleasing to God. I guess he doesn't think about that. Buildings
were leveled. I don't know how much warning they were given. I don't believe they were given a lot. It was just very sad. I think it was one of the worst tornadoes that they have had probably in decades.
You ready? Here it comes. Buckle up.
I personally believe it's weather modification, that kind of.
Boom! There you go. There's the QAnon belief coming out, rearing its ugly head. Needless to say, it just turns into a death spiral of crazy with Lauren Witzke, with all of these QAnoners. And it seems to me that Trump discovered these people and started vetting their ideas, started asking the Secret Service and other people around him if they were real. Let's continue reading the article here. It was almost too stupid for words, said former Trump official intimately familiar with the then-sitting president's inquiry. I did not get the sense he was joking at all. I don't get the sense he was joking either. It just seems like he discovered the QAnon belief system and started asking questions about it. The sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss private conversations tell Rolling Stone that Trump began interrogating national security officials and other staffers about the alleged weapon during the first year of his presidency, and his question would pop up sporadically until at least 2018. Two of the sources recalled that as Trump got deeper into the second year in his term, he started to drop the topic and occasionally joked about it. Okay, so interesting. Seems like 2018, that's right around the time QAnon started really popping up and getting super popular. So those timelines add up. I mean, it's just speculation. It just seems to me that the dude probably started researching QAnon around that time. That's why it came up in the first place. In certain circles within the upper ranks of Trumpland, the then leader of the free world's query became such a mockable occurrence it became known among some as the hurricane gun thing. I was present once when he asked if China made hurricanes to send to us, said the former senior official. Trump wanted to know if the technology existed. One guy in the room responded, "Not to the best of my knowledge, sir. I kept it together until I got back to my office. I do not know where the then president would have heard about that. He was asking about it around that time, maybe a little before. He asked people about nuking hurricanes." I really do think a lot of this is from QAnon. He probably picked up on a lot of the ideas they were spreading at some of these message boards and stuff and ran with it. That's what it seems like to me. This patently boneheaded line of inquiry from Trump, which has not been previously reported, was merely one instance in an administration overflowing with Trump's rampantly absurd, conspiracy theory-powered ideas and policy proposals, many of which were ignored or shot down, thus avoiding additional atrocities. Last week, it was revealed that Trump's former Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, wrote in his new memoir that his ex-boss wanted to attack Mexico with missiles during peacetime between two nations and then try to pin the blame on another country. Wow. Didn't hear about that one, but there really is no bottom to the pit that is Donald Trump's morality. I just find it particularly fascinating that we know that he was picking up on QAnon talking points and ideas, and we have a rough time frame of when that was happening too. 2018, that's roughly around the time QAnon was making their world debut, if you will. So really doesn't surprise me at all. I'm just deeply, deeply glad the guy's not in office anymore, and I hope it stays that way.